then as I wrote that book, seriously, it was like therapy. I barely can speak the English language, so I hired my friend to rewrite it so that it would sound okay. And as she was asking all these questions, it was like a therapy session, and I found that I was making these same mistakes over and over. So I have these top 10 lessons learned that are very universal, and I have 132 mistakes in the book, but 10 of them you would totally relate to. The other ones you would have to be like in the food business or the fitness business, or these very specific businesses that I was in. So I thought I'd bring some of those lessons here tonight and share with you some of the things I think I know, and I put the word think. Because I don't know if we ever actually know anything. Fail fast is another huge thing. I have failed in one weekend, and I failed in 10 years. I'd rather fail in a weekend. So I have all kinds of ideas, and I like to try them, and I like to get them out of my system right away. I've talked to so many people that, okay, so I'm not a perfectionist right away. I have no patience for perfectionism. I'm sure most of you are perfectionists in this room, so I've just like insulted all of you. So I started a business called Wow Cookies because in my Biringer business I had a cookie business, and I won best cookie in the nation one year for my lemon tea cookie, because when you bit in it, you said wow, because it was lemon. So I thought, well, you know, I can't just go there. I have to start a whole nother business selling wow cookies. So I went to the fancy food show in San Francisco, and I pretended like I was a buyer, and I got this little business card that says wowcookies.com. I don't even think I bought the domain, but I pretended I had wow cookies, and I walked through the show and said to all the cookie makers, I need to taste your cookies because I have a business called wowcookies.com, and I need to see if they make me say wow. And I found out that only 3 made me say wow. And cookies are great, they're lovely, they're really good, but they don't make you say wow. So how can I start a business? I needed like 50 kinds that said wow if I was going to start this business. And none of them would drop ship for me, and I didn't want to carry cookies, I wanted them to drop ship. And so I came home with my tail between my legs, and I did not do that business, so I failed fast. On the other hand, if I was a perfectionist, I would have wrote a business plan for that, and I would have agonized over it and researched it, and I would have figured out a few years later, with a lot of money that I spent later, that that business wasn't going to work. So I just gave you a little example of failing fast. When I first started the CRAVE business, it was because I needed girlfriends. And my biggest thing that I want to leave with you tonight is it's all about relationships. Life is all about relationships, and you need. And I didn't learn that. I learned that till I was 30 years old. And I certainly wish that one of the reasons why I wish I would have gone to college is for the relationships, not for the education. Because everybody that I know that was in a sorority or something, they have those relationships for the rest of their life. I didn't have any sisters. I went right into the entrepreneur school of life when I was 18. I didn't have any like-minded people I was around. I just turned into a workaholic right away, and I didn't have any relationships. I didn't have any like-minded people around me or girlfriends. So I woke up one day and said, I need girlfriends, this is wrong. And I started a business to get girlfriends. And my latest reinvention is urban camp. You guys can all see this, but recently, last August, I had an event and 500 women came, and I felt like, okay, I am stopping everything and doing this, because that's what I did 12 years ago. I stopped everything when that first party happened, and I was successful and got in the New York Times. I stopped everything I was doing because I had a fitness business at the time. I told my husband he has to run the berry business. I'm like, oh, I'm doing this girlfriend thing. And now I'm stopping everything and I'm doing urban campfire, which I'll tell you that in a minute. Doing nothing is a good thing. It's a lesson I learned. It's a hard thing. So my personality is, oh, I can't pay my payroll in 2 weeks. Start a new business and lose $20,000 more. I react like, oh my goodness, so this is not working. I have a lot on my plate. I don't know how I'm going to pay the payroll. What am I going to do? I panic. When I panic, I start new businesses. And so in 2012, I learned to do nothing. I got stopped in my tracks. I was in Amsterdam, and I was having the time of my life. I had just produced this book. People were asking me, what's your 5-year plan? Never asked me that. That's the worst question in the world. I don't know what I'm going to do in 24 hours. So, but I was over in Amsterdam and doing CRAVE Amsterdam for the 3rd year. I was on top of the world. I had no idea I was 4 months away from the biggest breakdown in my life because my business model stopped working, but I didn't want to look at it. Sometimes when you don't want to look at things, like the skate number on the scale or your bank account, you don't look, and then you get in trouble a little while later. And I realized, great, once again, I'm gonna have failure. And I didn't want another failure, but when I have failures, I usually go down for a couple weeks, couple months, and this one was a year. So 2012 was my year. I stayed in bed most of the time. My husband came in and said, get out of bed at 1 o'clock in the afternoon. I'm like, I have nothing in me. I was downward spiral. So at the end of the year, my friends were like, get your mojo back. What do you love? And I said marshmallows and flash dance, and I started a company called Urban Campfire. I think this is my last lesson I'm going to share with you. If you have the X and the Y, somebody else can bring in the Z. So when I started Urban Campfire, my friend that said, what do you love? And I'm going to help you. She's one of the best event planners in the world. And she said, I have this skill. I know what to do. I will help you do this event. You just do your thing, and I will make it all happen for you. So I was the best friend I could ever have. And she made that event happen, that the 500 people came. And now, like, I owe her for the rest of my life. I'm not sure how, but I'm just like giving another relationship example, like how friends are so great. And if I would have not thought about friends, I wouldn't. So my friends got me out of this thing, this funk that I was in. They took me to dinner all year long. They took me to coffee. They're like, you got to get out and find out. We're not all going to love each other right away and go out to coffee and drinks and be friends, but we will find great relationships and great friends if we share vulnerabilities with each other. And I just encourage you all to get deeper with each other and share more, and it's amazing what happens when you have great relationships, and I don't think you can get them until you get vulnerable. I just learned that in the last 6 months. So there you go. That's my talk. Did I do it?